This is the worst.
For an affordable rural Montana town to buy some real estate? If
No.
you said yes, congratulations, you clicked on the right video.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
We've been doing a series of videos about great rural towns in the United States. Since that series started, I've gotten a steady stream of requests for more affordable rural towns. I guess the problem is, when something's considered great, it also tends to be expensive. That is just how the world is. When something's good and most people want it, it's expensive. Sort of like a Calvin Klein tuxedo. It goes for around $500 or $600. And a short sleeve polyester business suit at Target goes for 40 bucks. Today we're looking at affordable rural towns in Montana and why they are so affordable. There's always a reason, and the reasons are rarely good.
Oh, don't be like that. If I had a rock, I'll bust your head, bitch.
All right, get it? Got it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 5, Darby, Montana. Darby is a small rural town in western Montana, not too far from the Idaho border and about an hour south from Missoula, Montana.
What has he got? If he has not to say the thing.
This is an interesting place that has a downtown that's still rocking that Old West vibe. Seriously, parts of the downtown look like a scene from an Old West movie. In reality, this isn't very unusual for Montana or Wyoming for that matter. They're very proud of their Old West history.
Yeah, boy. That lovely?
Not only does it look like a movie set in some areas, they've actually filmed a lot of things here. In 1989, the movie Disorganized Crime was filmed in Darby, Hamilton, and Missoula, and the series Yellowstone.
My God! Wow!
That's been filmed. That's a great series, by the way, if you haven't seen it. But
Stop posting about him!
Yellowstone.
I'm tired of seeing it! My friends on TikTok send me memes. On Discord, it's memes. I was in a server, right? And all of the channels are just
Yellowstone.
stuff.
that's filmed at the Chief Joseph Ranch, which is just south of downtown Darby. Darby has a population of almost 700 people. Now, I'm going to get into the good and the bad here. First of all, internet in Montana, it's not the best in a lot of areas, but they do get Starlink, and I've heard great things about it. So we're going to kind of exclude the internet process from this video, because Montana seems to have it down pat when it comes to Starlink. All right, moving on. Here's the good about Darby. The cost of living and real estate both get a thumbs up. Overall, the cost of living here is 6% lower than the national average. Homes start around $450,000.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
But it's hard to find one that doesn't come with a few acres. So if you're looking for just a house with a front yard and a backyard, it might be a little expensive. If you're looking for a place with some property, this is pretty cheap. Now, granted, you get 20 acres, it's going to get up into the $1 million, but you could find 2 acres in just an acre, and it's relatively inexpensive. Here's the bad. Crime, poverty, income, healthcare all get thumbs down. The total crime rate here is 52% above the national average. 31.5% of the population live below the poverty line, and the median household income is $26,429 a year. That's 52% lower than the national average. They don't have any hospital or urgent care in town. They do have like a clinic that's got limited hours. If you need a hospital, they got one up in Hamilton, which is about 20 minutes north. But if you need anything beyond what they could do, you got about an hour ride up to Missoula. Number 4, Dutton, Montana.
Dutton is a rural town in the flat part of northwestern Montana. It sits between Great Falls and Shelby. The population sat around 300 in the 2020 census. Dutton is considered the wheat capital of Montana, and it's located in what is known as the Golden Triangle region. Sounds ominous. I mean, I get it has to do with wheat. But the Golden Triangle, ever since the Bermuda Triangle, anything you throw triangle onto, it sounds kind of weird. Here's the bad. Crime, poverty, income, healthcare all get thumbs downs. Their crime rate is 52% above the national average.
Up. Dutton doesn't have the greatest crime stats. Number 3, Cascade, Montana. Cascade is a small rural town that sits on the bank of the Missouri River, about 30 minutes southwest of Great Falls. If you like to fish, this is a solid option. The Missouri River is huge here. You know, you get to some areas where the river gets kind of small, it's good size here. Plenty of places to fish. And like all of Montana, this is also a great area to hunt, pheasant, whatever you want to do. After that, there isn't a whole bunch to do. They do have a community pool, which is nice. You know, reality, I like seeing small communities that have things like, say, a pool or a skate park. That normally indicates that the local leaders are doing a decent job. Communities need things like that for a whole bunch of different reasons. Sometimes you get local leaders, mayor, city council, whatever, and they only think of costs and efficiency. And really, a pool or a skate park don't do much for the city's financials. I mean, on a spreadsheet, it doesn't look good. About 700 people call Cascade home, and here's the bad. Both healthcare and crime get a thumbs down. Their total crime rate is 43% higher than the national average, which is great. When it comes to healthcare, they don't have anything in town. Anything you need done is going to have to go up to Great Falls, around 30 minutes away. Let's take a look at the good. Cost of living, household income, poverty rate, and real estate are all really good here, and they all get a thumbs up. The cost of living is 14% below the national average. The median household income is $39,554, which is lower than the national average, but the cost of living here is so cheap, it's pretty good. Only 13.4% of the population here lives below the poverty line, which is almost 2% lower than the national average. That's great. Now, when it comes to real estate, this one's a little strange because they're a little bit expensive in my opinion, but they're also right on the river. One, you have an old bank building right now going for $549,000. It's huge, it's a beautiful building, and it's walking distance to the Missouri River. They also have another one that's going for $399,000. Again, walking distance to the river. It's brand new. It's not bad for $399,000. I know a lot of people think an affordable home is under $200,000, but when it's nice and it's under $500,000, it's pretty good. This is definitely not a bad place to live if you can get past the crime rate and you don't have any major health concerns. Number 2, Simms, Montana. Simms sits about 30 minutes west of Great Falls on the Sun River. This is a very small rural town of about 400. It is laid out how a town should be. All the official buildings, schools, post office, things like that are in the center of town with the homes surrounding it. As towns turn into cities, the concept gets a little harder to maintain, but theoretically, this is how cities should be planned. At least that's what they told me in college, but they also told me not to come to class hungover anymore.
Now here's the good about Simms. The cost of living, medium household income, and real estate all get a thumbs up in Simms. The overall cost of living here is 15% lower than the national average. The median household income is $44,531 a year, which is lower than the national average a little bit, but in a place with such a low cost of living, that's pretty good money. And their real estate. They don't have a lot for sale right now. Actually, they only have one. It's going for $225,000, and that seems to be the price point for this place in general. Last year, they sold some homes, and in 2020, they sold some homes right around that same area. Let's take a look at the bad. Crime and poverty both get a thumbs down here.
Their crime rate is 48% higher than the national average.
I don't know if they factored in the teen who was just arrested recently for threatening the entire school on social media. That's not good. But anyway, their crime rate is almost 50% higher than the national average. When you look at the poverty in Sims, 19.2% of the population lives below the poverty line.
That's not terrible. It's 4% higher than the national average. All in all, Sims isn't a bad place to live. It looks like a very nice, quiet community. This town was built on a low spot in the Sun River Valley and was named after Sims Creek, which flows into the Sun River about a mile west of town. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. And number 1, Ronan, Montana.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Ronan, Montana sits on the Flathead Indian Reservation about 20 minutes south of Flathead Lake. This is up in the northwest section of Montana. This whole area sits in a valley and it's beautiful. I've been here before.
Are you sure about that?
Well, not to Ronan, but in the towns around there. And to Flathead Lake. This is amazing land. Winter might get a little harsh. I've been there in the summer and it was beautiful. Ronan has a population of almost 2,000 and it's not a bad place to live. They got more good than bad here. Here's the good. Cost of living, real estate, poverty level, and healthcare all get a thumbs up. The overall cost of living here is 14% below the national average. Their real estate is pretty good. They have a lot to choose from, and it's not terribly expensive. Most any home here is going to be between $300,000 and $400,000. Normally around $350,000. They do have some places that go for about $220,000. They have some really nice places that start off around $500,000 and go up. There's probably 10 places for sale right now, so you have a lot to choose from. If you want to go on the outside of town in the rural areas, that's where you're going to find places over $500,000. But in town, you're looking at $350,000 to $400,000, with the occasional place around $200,000, $250,000 popping up. The median household income here is $37,625 a year. That is not bad for a place with decent real estate and a low cost of living. One thing I want to mention about the real estate in Ronan, it is on an Indian reservation, so there are some different rules and laws that apply to owning real estate on the reservation. So any real estate agent's going to be able to tell you all about that. So make sure you pay attention to what they say. And they even got a good-sized hospital inside town. It's called St. Luke's, emergency room, all the good stuff. This is a pretty good-sized facility for a town of barely 2,000. Now here's the bad. Their crime rate, it gets a big thumbs down. Their total crime rate is 71% higher than the national average. Their violent crime rate, which we haven't really talked about on this list, it's 141% above the national average. Good thing they got an emergency room in town. If you can get past the high crime rate and high violent crime rate, Ronan's not a bad place to live. Especially if you're into outdoor activities, fishing, hiking, camping, all that good stuff is right there for you. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.
Yeah, you suck. Yeah, you just fucking suck. Blows my mind that somebody like this not only exists, but also is delusional enough to post it online.
States from coast to coast, you're easily the best. Montana, Montana, where skies are always blue. M-O-N-T-A-N-A, Montana, I love